The Flectoid was starting to get a little animated. It was obvious he was still in the God-based belief system, and the competition from another religion was disrupting his thinking patterns. All us Flextons who believe in him will go to be with him in heaven when we die. It will be wonderful, and everybody who doesn't believe will be in hell with those Plutons. I see, said Kenom. Where exactly is heaven? It is out there in space, that's where. And it's a wonderful place, too, full of all sorts of neat things, streets of gold and things like that. Why would you need streets of gold? Asked Kenom. Are there modules there? Well, I guess so, sure. How else would a person get around? And who repairs the rails, the Vertons? Why are you asking me all these questions? How should I know? Our priests tell us that's how it is, and we believe them. The modules probably never break down, because everything is perfect in heaven. Please forgive me for asking so many foolish questions. I'm sure your priests are right about this, but being from Zimmnel, I'm quite ignorant of these matters. Perhaps you would help me, enlighten me. Please tell me more about your God. Well, okay, said Zelton. This is how it is. God, who created everything, the entire universe, created Flexton and made it special. Then he rested for a while, and after that, seeing that Flexton was the best planet, he created Flextons in his image to live here. He put life, that is, us Flextons, on this good planet he created. I see, so then God is a Flexton, is that right? Interrupted Kenom. No, said Zelton. We Flextons just look like him, but he's much more perfect and powerful than we are. We're scum. We don't get to be like him till we die. I see, said Coleman. Please go on. Well, after he created us Flextons, rather than us being good like we should have, we just made a mess of things. We got all screwed up. You know, we got all corrupted and started being bad, and we're doing bad things to one another, kind of like what the Fignons are doing to us, you know, fighting and stuff like that. God didn't like that one bit. He wanted us to be good. So what he did was he had himself a son born on Flexton. He was called Enew. His son was supposed to tell us Flextons how bad we were being, and we could change and be good like God wanted us to be. Well, that makes sense, replied Kenom. Yeah, Enew didn't live very long, because those early Flextons were really bad. They killed him right away. Can you believe that? Here God has a son born on Flexton, and the Flextons go right out and kill him dead. No wonder God hates us. Does God hate you personally? Asked Kenom. Well, kind of, because I'm still a Flexton, even if I was born here on Ob. My priest says all Flextons are bad, unless they believe in God and try to be good. God hates anybody who is bad and doesn't believe in him, not just us Flextons. Maybe you Zimmnellians, I don't know what he thinks about you guys. You all seem to be pretty good to me, but then I ain't God. Maybe you all are doing something bad on Zimmnel. That could very well be, said Kenom, but please continue. I find all this very interesting. How do you know what is good and what is bad if Enew was killed off so quickly? Oh, he wasn't killed off that fast. He lived about 30 years. I see. Well, then he had lots of time to write everything down for you, like what was good and what was bad. No, not exactly, and that's the funny thing about it. He never wrote anything down. Not one sentence. As a matter of fact, he didn't tell anybody who he really was till they were ready to kill him. You mean to say God had a son born on Flexton in order to tell you how to be good, and his son didn't say anything until you were about to kill him? That does seem strange. How do you know then that he really was the son of your God? His friends said he was, and they wrote everything down after he was dead. That's how we know. Oh, I see. It was God's son's friends who told you that what was good and what was bad, not God's son himself. Is that what you're saying? Asked Kenom. It was the early Flextons who told you that Enew was a god, son, and what you must do to be good. But how about the croutons and the cleons and the plutons? I mean, what you Flextons do might be good for you, but it doesn't seem like it would be necessarily good for the plutons or cleons or cortons. Am I right? Has anyone Flexton been to these planets to find out what they think is good or bad? Or is there just one kind of good? Flexton good. The only good is what God told us Flextons was good. Has God ever told you personally what was good? Well, no, not me personally. He had his son just told of some early people. I see. Did he talk to them? Yeah, sure. He talked to a lot of the early people, and they wrote it all down. Lucky for us. It's all written down in God's book. God's book? Asked Kenom. As neither God nor Son wrote anything down, you must mean the book written by early people. Well, yeah, but it's still God's book. Have you read it? Yeah, most of it. What does it say? Well, I don't really understand a lot of it, but our priests do. They tell us what it says and what it means. They interpret God's book for us so we don't do anything wrong. Does God's book tell you what is wrong and right? Kind of, but we need the priest to tell us exactly what to do and not to do to please God. And of course, if we please Him, we get to go to heaven when we die and live right there next to Him, forever in eternity. I see, said Kenom. Sort of like me sitting with the commander over in Central Dome. Yeah, kind of. That will have to be a rather large table, don't you think, if all the 2 billion of you Flextons are there, not to mention all the clortons and cleons. There will probably be some people from all the other planets in the universe there as well. It may be hard for you, personally, to actually get a chair next to him. Well, God will work it out somehow, said Verton. Our priests say He can do anything. I'm sure He will, said Kenom.